Hi, my name is Antonia Morgan. I'm clinical psychologist, and today I'll be talking about how suppressed anger can show in your body. In my clinical work, I often meet people who describe themselves as calm, rational, and conflict avoidant, but their bodies tell a totally different story. Their jaw aches, their shoulders never soften, and their breathing remains shallow. In addition, their digestion is unpredictable. Their fatigue is constant, and often they believe they are managing stress. But what they are truly managing, it's something totally different. It's unexpressed emotional survival energy, especially anger. The reason is, for many people, anger was never safe to express. Not during the childhood, not in controlling environment, not in narcissistic or emotionally unsafe relationships. Because when protest threatened attachment, the nervous system chose survival over expression. And this is why, instead of release, it learned containment. And this is why, instead of choosing voice, it chose muscular armor. Instead of boundaries, chose compliance. And so, over time, this adaptation becomes physiology. Modern neuroscience shows that emotional suppression does not eliminate defensive activation. The reason is, when anger is triggered, the amygdala detects danger, the hypothalamus activates stress pathways, and adrenaline and cortisol mobilize energy for action. But when expression is inhibited, the defensive cycle remains incomplete. And incomplete survival responses do not disappear. They remain in the body as chronic muscle tension, autonomic nervous system dysregulation, inflammation, hypervigilance, persistent fatigue. Research from Harvard Medical School and Stanford Neuroscience Program has demonstrated that chronic emotional suppression is associated with increased physiological stress load, inflammatory responses, and autonomic imbalance. The reason is that the body carries what the psyche could not process. So you are not exhausted from doing too much. You are exhausted from holding too much. The symptoms might increase in narcissistic or emotionally unsafe environments where your emotional reality is dismissed, where boundaries are punished, where anger is labeled as disloyalty. So compliance becomes survival. In toxic environment, the child learns expression is dangerous. So then, as an adult continues the same pattern. It is important to remember that in toxic relationships, the nervous system does not respond to the present moment. It responds to the past. Because to the nervous system, safety is not an idea. It is an experience. From neurolinguistic perspective, repeated emotional inhibition creates subconscious associations, such as expression equals danger and silence equals safety. And so these patterns becomes encoded in neural pathways and autonomic responses. And healing involves creating new neurological associations where expression equals safety, boundaries equals protection, and where self-presence equals survival. This is not cognitive work alone. It is nervous system learning. So let's complete a small part of the defensive cycle right now. Sit comfortably and bring awareness to your jaw, shoulders, and chest. Notice where tension lives. Now inhale slowly through the nose for 4 seconds. Pause briefly, and then exhale through the mouth for 6 seconds. A longer exhale signals safety to the vagus nerve. Next, gently press your palms together. Feel the strength in your arms. This is defensive energy that might have once been restrained. Slowly release. Let your hands soften. Finally, say silently or aloud, "It is safe to release what I no longer need to hold." Notice any shift, warmth, softness, breath depth. Remember, healing does not begin with forcing emotional release. It begins with restoring safety, safety to feel, safety to express, safety to exist without self-suppression. We should always remember that the healthy anger is not distraction. It's a boundary, it's protection, it is a nervous system restoring integrity. Your body is not working against you. It is only completing emotional truth that couldn't be expressed before. And when finally safety returns to the nervous system, tension no longer needs to remain. So join Mind Architect today, rewire your nervous system, restore emotional safety, and finally reclaim your authentic self.